You remember, you can see in the circuit there is a resistor here R, capacitor CE, and now E is not included, so you can basically ignore it. So that is how the circuit now looks like. We can start studying this. So first you connect the circuit to the battery here. First you connect here and then wait until the maximum charge is reached. It reaches a maximum voltage measured across the capacitor. Then what you have to do is you have to change the position of the switch and start the clock. Go on measuring the voltage across the capacitor. That you have to do here. So you have to measure the voltage across the capacitor terminals. Okay, what happens because of the resistor? The charge that is stored here, for example, in this case, you might have current was flowing in this direction. That means electrons. So you had like plus here and minus here on these plates, and then now the battery is not there. So these charges, electrons, try to go back. They set up a current, try to go back so that the capacitor gets neutralized after some time. It doesn't happen immediately because there is a resistor. It doesn't allow the electrons to flow just like as they like. Okay, it gives a resistance. So we need some time for the charge to be neutralized. Now let us apply the Kirchhoff's voltage law. So you have, by applying Kirchhoff's voltage law, Ri plus Q by C is equal to 0 or R into Q, I you can write it as dQ by dt plus Q by C is equal to 0. Rearranging the terms, dQ by Q is equal to dt by RC with a minus sign. Now, so this is dQ is the charge in time dt. dQ is the amount of charge that is increased or decreased. While charging, charge was increasing. Now it is discharging. Therefore, the charge is decreasing. So that is in a time period of dt. So what will happen over a time period of t? So there will be a change in charge of q. So we just integrate it from 0 to q. dq by q is equal to minus 1 by rc is a constant, integral 0 to t dt. Okay. So now you integrate this and what you get is ln, natural logarithm q, between the limits 0 to q, of course, is equal to minus 1 by rc into t plus we need the constant of integration. Even though it is a definite integral, we are not sure about the limits, the t and q, so we still put the integration constant here. Now let us put by applying the boundary conditions at t is equal to 0. What happened at t is equal to 0? Q was Q naught, the charge was maximum, so that implies ln Q naught is equal to C. Okay, and you substitute that in the above equation. Ln Q is equal to minus 1 by RC plus ln Q naught. You're rearranging the terms, what you get is ln Q minus ln Q naught is equal to minus, sorry, there was T, I forgot, you should not forget that, minus T by RC or ln Q by Q naught is equal to e to the power exponential minus T by RC or Q is equal to sorry, there is no ln, or Q is equal to Q naught into e to the power minus T by RC. So that is the equation we have obtained for the decay of the current, and if we plot it, it looks like this. So it is a decay function, exponential decay. So there you have somewhere here you have Q naught, and this is Q, and this is time. Okay, sorry, this is time, and that's 0. So somewhere you have Q naught, the maximum charge at time t is equal to 0. It will touch the y-axis at some point, will not worry. So now that is the equation and that is the plot. Then the expression for the time constant, again just like in case of charging, RC is the time constant. So when T is equal to CR or RC, Q is 0.37 Q naught. Okay, so that happens to be somewhere here. Okay, I will point out here somewhere. So this is 0.37 Q naught, and then here the time RC, and then you have 2 RC, etc. So 3 RC, 4 RC, 5 RC. So by the time it is 5 RC, it will be almost 0. So you can say that the charge on the plates of the capacitor is almost 0. Okay, so at T is equal to CR, the charge is 0.37 of the maximum charge that it can